Okay, welcome to the Survivor Files with Drew Garrison. And today we are joined by special guest from Cook Islands, Billy Garcia.
I thank you for having me on, Drew.
Absolutely, Billy. I was just watching Survivor Cook Islands pretty recently, and yeah, like just I feel like that it's a really fun season, and um I was not expecting the outcome, and I feel like there were all like there were like a lot of fun kind of like tribe twists and like alliances and like and uh, and and team ups and things like that on the island for sure.
Yeah, well, Survivor by nature is very unpredictable. The game is designed that way. I think my season more so than most seasons because I think they kind of threw the kitchen sink at us. But uh, yeah, yeah. But it lived up to its unpredictable nature.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Maybe on your camera set the settings to standard definition.
Okay.
Yeah, Zoom does that to where it can't handle the 4K.
Oh man. Um, yeah, we should be good. So,
Okay.
for your first day on Cook Islands, what was that like, your first day on the island?
Wow, that was so busy. We started on a ship that was a replica of the Bounty, where we had to raid the ship, take whatever we could, and we were told that so long as it wasn't part of the ship, that we could take it, even if it's tied down. And so, uh, it was a mad scramble, and I grabbed this black box, um, and it turned out to be a camera battery for one of the cameramen. And instead of putting it down, I've kind of figured, hey, I could hotwire this thing to start a fire. And before I got too far, the cameraman horse collared me from behind, and Jeff came running over to see what all that was about. And he the cameraman told him, "That's my camera battery. I need that." And I was like, "Jeff, you said anything ship, even if it's tied down." And Jeff had to think about it, and he was like, "No, I'm sorry." And he took the camera battery back, and he was like, "Go, go, 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 grab something else." So, so right off the bat, I was like denied. But the first day as a whole was just so busy. Um, it surprises me that they well, let me rephrase that. It doesn't surprise me that in modern Survivor, because they have the marooning challenge and they have all sorts of other stuff going on, that the shelters are so weakly built nowadays in modern
Oh,
Survivor. They just don't have the time to build a good shelter anymore.
okay. Um, yeah, so you were talking about like taking things off the ship. I feel like they've done that in a few seasons, like in the Survivor One World, I think they did that too. Yeah. But just like you were saying, like I feel like there has to be like a rule, like if it's like special camera equipment or something like that. Yeah, yeah, the cast probably can't take that.
Well, my experience probably changed some of the rules, so they're probably told that nowadays. But yeah, I'm willing to take whatever, and my tribe mates had different ideas. I think me and Ozzy was the only one that felt like it didn't matter what it was. It could have been a piece of rope. We'll take that piece of rope and we'll make it work for us in some way. So me and Ozzy were the only ones who kind of had our head in the game that if we can carry it, we're taking it. Like we're looting the ship like it's a riot in downtown Manhattan. Like we're just grabbing everything. If it's a TV monitor, we're taking it. we,
Oh man. Yeah, like I feel like y- like I feel like that like you and Z in particular had a pretty cool relationship on the show. I feel like it showed you guys together a lot. And I'm sure that there was a lot of stuff on the island that that didn't even that didn't even that didn't even or make uh the show.
yeah, well, yeah. They didn't show enough of me and Ozzy back on good terms for most of my time that we were out there. It wasn't until much later that that things turned, and I think Ozzy read the writing on the wall that JP had Cecilia and Christina, so being on my side wasn't gonna benefit him, and I don't think Ozzy realized that even though JP was counting Christina as one of his, Christina was very much leaning towards me. So I think if I could have somehow successfully conveyed that information to Ozzy, maybe my fate would have been different. Maybe I could have swung Ozzy, but yeah, long after the fact, he and I have reconnected and we've
Oh,
buried the
nice.
hatchet and we're on good
Oh,
terms. And
nice.
I was actually rooting for him on season 50 here.
Yeah, nice. I'm not caught up on season 50, but is
Oh, okay.
he still on the show?
Well, as of today, he just got eliminated this past Wednesday.
Oh
Uh,
man. Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, yeah, painful. It was a very, very painful, hurtful elimination. Not just to watch, but for him personally. And so I'm gonna be respectful and not give any opinions right now while he's still feeling the hurt. But I'll just say that he has my support.
Yeah, no, like in terms of survivors who played a really good gathering food and challenge game. Like there's been no survivor that has been as incredible in challenges as Ozzy. He is amazing in challenges.
Well, not only is he the top, in my opinion, the top challenge player in Survivor history, he's by far and away the greatest outdoorsman in Survivor history. I don't think there's anybody even in the conversation with Ozzy. So yeah, he's a legend and he's earned it. He's not just a cool name or a cool dude, even though that's still a great thing to be a cool dude. But he earned his legend status.
Absolutely. Like he is a certified survivor legend, probably the greatest player to play the game that hasn't been that hasn't been able to win. Um, I know that.
Yeah, he and Suri.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like Cerise played a lot too. And like I feel like
Yeah. Well, yeah.
and the thing is like she's such a good player that she usually gets to the end and I think that's great.
Yeah, well, they both are like that. It was fun to see them team up on Survivor 50, and
Oh
it took
yeah.
a ridiculous twist to separate them in order for Ozzy to be eliminated. Um, I'm not a fan of these kinds of game-ending twists, um, but Survivor, they like to throw the kitchen sink at us. So what can we do?
Yeah, I got you, man. I've yeah, like um and this season in particular, they wanted it to be left like to the fans. So they would have the fans like do like a lot of choices in order to see like what the survivors would do on the show.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the season theme has been in the hands of the fans, and it's more been in the hands of celebrity, in my opinion. But I don't know. If somebody sees it different, that's fine. But yeah, I, I, uh, I appreciate Survivor trying to include the fans and try to make them more a part of the show. And it's good to mix it up anyway, so that it isn't the same old season after season. So I respect that. I just hate seeing a twist that end games like it did for Jenny on Cook Islands, like it
Oh
did for
yeah. Oh yeah.
Piper Michelle and Survivor Fiji, and I can name a bunch more, but it just happened one more time with Ozzy. So it's
Oh yeah.
that's the one thing that I'm not a fan of.
Gotcha. So this is just a hypothetical question, but if you would have stayed on your season, would you have been happier playing for the Rarotonga or I too?
Well, I feel like the way the picking strategies were when they when the tribes were divided, I felt like Brad was only picking hard bodies. Like he wasn't
Mm.
picking. He was never going to pick me no matter what. Cowboy ended up being the last pick. I think I would have been the last pick. So I would have ended up on I2. Uh, just because I am by far and away not a hard body. So so yeah, it would have been like me, Yule, and Cowboy with Jonathan Penner, and yeah, I would have fit in with that crowd because Cowboy was on that tribe, Flicker was on that tribe, and after the game, we kind of well, even in the game, we kind of knew we were the outsiders in each of our tribes. We kind of knew that we were the different ones. Like you had, each tribe was like Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. So that was Cowboy, that was me, that was Flicker, and I felt like we would have bonded over that, over being the island of misfit toys, basically.
Oh man. Yeah, like in watching it, I think it was good that fucking Cowboy were an I2 because I feel like Rarotonga probably would have tried to get rid of them right away. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because that was the preppy tribe. If you played football and you were a cheerleader, you were great. You were golden on that tribe. But if you with the exception of Yule and Becky, okay, they really would have fit in better on the Rarotonga tribe. But
Mm.
you had the hidden immunity idol, and as we saw, he leveraged that all the way to a win. So yeah, that's why he did so well on the tribe that where he was actually the misfit on that tribe.
Yeah. Um, uh, who was one member of your tribe that you would have liked to get to know more?
Well, I I got to know Christina pretty good because she and I spent so much time together. Um,
Nice.
I should have spent more time with Ozzy. If I would have spent more time with Ozzy, I think I would have, we would have bonded more, and I would have been able to bridge the gap between Christina and Ozzy.
Mm.
Christina was a cop at the time. She was an active Santa Monica Police Department officer, and Ozzy, even though on the show, is just they were basically pitted against each other, uh, not in a literal sense, but in a so I felt like I could have bridged that gap. Christina liked me because I served in the Marine Corps, and then Ozzy. So so I think I if I'd have spent more time with Ozzy and had my head more in the strategic side and less in the entertainment side, I think I could have bridged the gap better, and my fate would have been much better than it was.
Mm. Yeah, I gotcha. But like, just like you were saying, like they tried so many new things with your season. Like they did,
Yeah.
like they started. They had the four smaller tribes. Y- like you guys almost didn't get a chance to get to know each other that well.
Well, we when they created the tribes be a race, these tribes were created by people who didn't know much about each race other than the original railroad tribe. And even then, they basically had four they had like four young college age people, and they had Jonathan Penner, who was a different culture from them. Being very Hollywood, being Jewish, being he was very different. But to Jonathan's credit, and to that tribe's credit, they played to win. So they all but Flicker went very very far. Um, my tribe was created with four Latinos and one Hispanic. Latinos come from Latin America, which is the continent of the Americas, and Hispanics come from the Caribbean, and it's named after the island of Hispaniola, where the Dominican Republic is located. And that was me. So I was different because of being a heavy metal dude and not being very stereotypical of Latin and even Hispanic culture. And then I was different in that you had the four Latinos and the one Hispanic. So I had too much against me, and the people that made the tribe really didn't understand that dynamic at all. And so it shouldn't come as a surprise that even though I had Christina as a friend, and even though Ozzy and I really did get along, it was legit. He wasn't just playing the game. He legit got got along with me, and we're friends now. It's just they just the show didn't understand the dynamic, and so when you had four Latinos throwing a challenge to get rid of the one Hispanic, that'd have been like if on the white tribe you had four rednecks from Alabama throwing a challenge to get rid of the Jew from like Canada. It would have it would have been like super obvious with the four Latinos all being from California and I'm being from the other side of the continent, from New York City. So yeah, when you the Spanish speaking audience saw right through what was going on. It was the editors and the producers and stuff that were none of which were Hispanic or Latino. They didn't understand the dynamic and so that's how I ended up in that situation, and that's how things ended up playing out the way they did. I mean, I understand it from their point of view in that they were told to represent a race, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Well, he's not our race, so so he's not one of us. He's the one that they picked for us to get rid of." So I understand. I understand their point of view. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Yeah, like um so
And
who
just to clarify, sorry, just to
no,
clarify,
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I'm sure some people are saying, "Oh, Billy's playing the race card." No, I didn't play the race card. Survivor played the race card when they divided us by race. I didn't play the race card. I had the race card shoved in my face, down my throat, up my ass, and out my penis. Like I didn't get to make a decision as far as not making race an issue. They did. Survivor made that decision for me. So no, I'm not playing the race card.
Yeah, man. I totally understand. Like, it started out as being kind of a controversial season, but I think it paved the way for so many more minorities to do well on the show and to win and to go further on the show. And like, I feel like on paper, it was kind of weird how it got there, but I feel like having a final two of you and Ozzy is incredible.
Well, yeah, it would have still been a final three, but yeah,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it would have been fun. I honestly, I've looked at it many times. I've gone through it over and over in my head for 20 years, and if I'm being honest, I would have ended up on a jury, but if not for the throne challenge. But I don't think I would have made it to the end. But I do think I would have been the missing vote that Ozzy needed to win the game, and that would have changed the entire course of Survivor history. Because a guy that's an outdoorsman who's a challenge beast would have proven a lot of people right that you could play that way and win, and so a lot more people would have tried to play that way to win. Instead, we got Yule, who was a politician and leveraged an advantage to get himself to the end, and won that way. That's what we got afterwards. We got people who would talk their way to the $1 million and use advantages to leverage, not necessarily just to have as a backup plan in case things go awry. They actually use it offensively, and that's all thanks to Yule. So Yule it ended up being Yule that changed Survivor history and set us on the course that we're on. But if I'd have made it to the jury, it actually would have been Ozzy, and we would have seen all the seasons afterwards play out differently.
Yeah. I feel like that if, and they might do this in future years, they might shift it to the people at home decide. Like, they may have the fans vote at some point. Like, if I had a vote, yeah, yeah, I probably, yeah, I probably, yeah, I probably had to vote for Ozzy.
Yeah, you know what? Back in the day of like season one of Big Brother, they tried the people watching at home voting and all that stuff for the winner, and the British versions, they still did that for many seasons of Big Brother and all that. But Survivor is not a live competition in that it gets pre-recorded, edited, and then aired. And so I think the fan vote would work under that scenario because there would be a lot of missing information, a lot of information that the fans at home wouldn't have. Because I've maintained this throughout the last 20 years that Survivor is a highlight reel, or depending on who you are, a low light reel. But it's it's not the whole game. We just get highlights of the game in the edit. It's better now that it's 90-minute episodes, but it's still condensing 48 hours into 90 minutes. You're definitely gonna miss a lot.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah. Like from like getting the opportunity to watch like so much like Survivor at home, like I feel like we're only getting like a very small like chunk of the show. Like there's so much
Yeah.
that actually happens. Like there's so much stuff that gets recorded and then like I feel like occasionally the cameras aren't there. So, no.
Yeah, it's not even that the cameras aren't there. It's just the game is very. It's like the ocean. It ebbs and flows, and within the course of 45 minutes, the game can shift from person A is going home to person B, and then person C by the end of those 45 minutes, and 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 then you add another 5 or 10 minutes more, and you're back to person A. And so if you're back to person A, the edit isn't going to show all that shifting. They're just going to skip over the shifting, and it was person A at the beginning of the shifting. It's person A at the end of the shifting. They'll just skip the middle part, and so you won't see what what got them to the point where they were like, you know what, person A for sure, because person B and person C is going to help us down the line, or person B we think might have something, or person C made such a great point that it kind of killed the idea. So you'll get a lot of that, and even sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just the look. Sometimes you'll get somebody that'll give somebody a certain look that'll make them go, "Oh, I think this person knows what I'm up to. I need to get him out now." Like you just don't know, or they have a certain look like, oh, they might have something in up their sleeves. They might pull at tribal council. We definitely should not put our votes on that person. Maybe we could flush that out. And so you miss a lot of the nuances that I
Mm.
think Survivor is very aware of. That the only way to really know any of this is that you had to have been there. And since the people at home weren't there, let's just cut that out and we'll keep it simple.
Yeah, yeah, like kind of right now I'm reading a few Survivor books that like there's the manual, like the Survivor manual that you guys receive at the beginning. I think all seasons get them, and like I'm sure there's like safety protocols and things that happen on the island that we don't see at home.
Yeah, well, before the game starts, you get put through survival school. Survival school teaches you everything from basic shelter building to basic fire starting to basic pooping in the woods, things like that, and more. That'll teach the school, and you get to ask questions, but whatever notes you might take or whatever you don't get to take with you. It's basically you have to memorize whatever they teach you, and then that's what you got with you when you go out there. They do have a first aid area where if you get a scrape or a bruise, you can tend to it yourself, or especially a laceration. Um, and they also have feminine products in that first aid section, because you know that time of the month isn't gonna take a pause the game. It's gonna happen no matter what. So to be fair to the women, they have that, and there's also if you're like on certain medication like diabetes medication or or uh, or even what do you call it, the allergy medication, you have your own like pouch in the first aid section. Um, I didn't have anything. Uh, some people, I think one person might have had glasses. I didn't go into their pouch because that's bad form. But just looking at it from a distance, it looked like it might have been it might have been glasses or it could have been tampons. I don't know. I could be wrong. There were two women on our tribes, but yeah, there's stuff there. There's a first aid section there that never gets shown on camera. At least as far as I remember, it never gets shown on camera. Might have got shown once, but I don't remember. Uh, but yeah, it's there every season for every tribe every season.
Hmm. Nice, nice. I feel good about that. For like the sun, do they give you guys like suntan lotion?
There's this infamous picture that didn't make the airwaves, but it did get press release. That infamous picture is JP. I forget who he was standing next to. It might have been Cecilia. It might have been somebody else. Where he took the suntan lotion and he marked J on one chest and P on the other chest, so you can visibly see the JP on his chest. And yeah, that that was supposed to be the suntan stuff and the all the stuff that I mentioned about it in the first eight section was supposed to be not made public. Like it was supposed to be incognito, and then he puts the J and the P, and they took pictures of it, but it didn't take long for like the field producer to pull him aside and let him have it, and make him rub it off. It was yeah the that that was and I would have found it interesting if we would have got a suntan with his initials, how they would have explained that. I would have. I wish that would have played out because that would have been interesting.
Oh man. Yeah. Um like so probably my favorite episode of your season is when Ozzy catches the bird.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I think it
Y-
was a seagull, or oh no, it's a local bird. Yeah, it was a local. It's a species that doesn't really exist like in the United States or something. I forget the name of it because yeah, it's local to like that part of the world. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, did he catch birds on your tribe?
No, there was a bird that was on a nest at the far side beach that we just all collectively decided to leave alone. We
Hmm.
left it alone, and we had so many coconuts that we were tired of coconuts. And then okay, the Ozzy was an amazing fisherman, outstanding. The fish that he caught were so razor thin that it was each fish by itself was like less meat than a chicken McNugget. So
Okay.
so imagine that being your one meal for the day, less meat than a chicken McNugget. That's your one meal for the day. So yeah, we were real hungry, but not hungry enough to like attack a mom bird protecting her nest.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. I know that on some seasons, like on Survivor Africa, I know they were prohibited from hunting the wildlife on their island because they were in a protective preserve.
Well, in our season, we had a list of fish that we could not spearfish. We couldn't hunt, but it wasn't because they were protected. It was because of mercury poisoning. There was
Oh,
no further explanation other than that. So we didn't know what it was, how they achieved that mercury poisoning, or what. We didn't know. We didn't know what the story was. We just knew that those particular fishes we could not touch. We could not try to eat. We couldn't do anything with those. And then Ozzy let us know that yeah, it sucked because those are the fishes that come right up to you. Like it would have been so easy for him to catch. They come right up to you, and yeah, but those are the fishes that unfortunately, uh, they probably would have did some serious harm to anyone who would have tried to eat them, maybe even killed them. So yeah.
yeah. Um, I guess when you guys did your survival training, that was part of the training.
They had this what would I call it? They had this paperwork that was stapled together that gave you uh basically what the survivalists had taught us. Plus, they had actual pictures of the fishes we could eat, and then the pictures of the fishes we couldn't eat. And they left that over in the first aid section. But that paperwork, the survivalists that ran a survival school, they had it with them, and so they were using that as a guideline when they were teaching.
Hmm.
So yeah, so they mentioned it, but we really didn't get a good look at it until we were on an island. We went over to the first aid section and we flipped through those pictures and saw specifically what fishes we had to stay away from. And of course, they were the bigger fishes, which sucked.
Oh man. Yeah. Uh, so for like to go fishing, did you guys get like a kid at the beginning?
Did we get what? I'm sorry.
Oh, did you guys get like fishing gear?
No. Well, yeah, yeah. We as a tribe we looted it off the ship. we
Oh,
we
okay.
me and Ozzy, after the whole battery thing, I came over to Ozzy and I said, what do we want to get and play keep away from everybody else? Like, what do we want to get? It was Ozzy that said, let's get all the fishing gear, especially the Hawaiian slings. And so I worked with Ozzy to make sure we had as many of those as possible. We didn't get all of them, but we got so many that there were tribes that didn't have anything. So yeah, we did really well when it came to the looting supplies from the ship, especially fishing gear. Uh, that first day when we put the canoe together, we had to put the canoe together ourselves when we arrived at the island. And that first day, like Ozzy went spearfishing. JP tried to go spearfishing, and it took him like maybe 20 minutes to break one of the Hawaiian slings because he didn't know what the hell he was doing, but he pretended like he did. That was kind of his MO out there. That he was this alpha male who knew exactly what he was doing, and then he never knew what he was doing. So uh, yeah, but Ozzy was was called Mowgli from the Jungle Book because he was that damn good. so so yeah,
Yeah.
he had no problem coming up with fish on the very first day. He had no problem uh basically showing us that he was head and shoulders above anybody else, not just on that season, but on any season when it
Hmm.
came to the outdoors. Like it was so obvious that at that point I had already made up my mind that Ozzy was going to win that season, and this is day one. That Ozzy was going to win that season, and that I was just trying to play for the 100 grand at second place. So, so yeah, I was willing to take the 100 grand to me. I even told Ozzy to his face. I was like, "Yeah, 100 grand is a lot of money to me. Like, it might as well be the million." So, yeah, I'm okay with you winning, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, like he didn't make quite the tight alliances that Yule did. Like I feel like Yule kind of had a little bit more pull.
Yule was a better talker, is what it was.
Mm.
Yule had the gift to gab, and still does. I feel like if Yule ever wanted to run for public office, like he would win. It wouldn't even matter what office he would choose. He would win because he just has that gift. Um, he's I see why people from that era, the fans from that era, called him the politician, in that he could sell people on anything. Um, a lot of the ideas didn't come from Yule, but because he was the one that pushed for the ideas, he got credit for them. Becky was actually very creative, but didn't get credit for the ideas because she would go to Yule and then Yule would do all the work to get people on board with the ideas. Um, having said that, over on our tribe, on Ozzy was gift was not necessarily the talking part of Survivor, but it was definitely the physical part of Survivor. That was his gift, and at Cook Islands, I feel like he made good with that gift more than on any other season.
Yeah, really good season for him to shine and to do like new stuff and challenges, like how he would do challenges. Like he was an amazing swimmer, like he would jump a certain way, like he was just like a tremendous athlete.
Yeah, one of the things I said on the show that did make the airwaves is that Ozzy can climb like a dolphin, or climb like a monkey and swim like a dolphin, and he lived up to that and more. He had incredible balance. He was surprisingly fast. You wouldn't look at him and think of him as somebody that would be like a sprinter, a dead sprinter, but he was. And his all his skills were really geared towards his solo effort. Like, it was meant to help him and figure out a way to use it to help others. And he might not even have thought that way. He might have just thought like he's there to be sole survivor and not there to get a group of people to the end. Um, and I think that might have hurt him because he needed to get a group of people at least to the jury so that he gets the votes that he needs to win. And he
Mm.
fell one short, and that one short is because none of his original tribe mates made the jury.
Yeah, I guess Christina just she didn't get to the jury by like two votes, I guess.
She yeah, maybe my memory's a little sketchy on that. I remember she and Cowboy went in the same episode with Christina
Oh,
going second. So she might have been seventh place. You know what? The fans could
yeah.
comment because my
Yeah,
20 years ago, man, we're talking about. So my
yeah.
memory isn't
Okay.
great.
Okay.
but but yeah, it was she wasn't too far from the merge.
No,
I think it
no.
was Jenny and
Oh.
Rebecca made the jury might have in the merge. So now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, Jenny and Rebecca, or I'm saying it backwards. Rebecca went first, then Jenny with the message in the bottle twist, which is awful. That was a terrible thing to do to her.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, they made the jury in spite of not making the merge. So yeah, Christina might have been close by, not too far.
Gotcha. Just to talk about that twist for a second. Like, yeah, the message in a bottle, they did that on
Oh,
the Fiji season, and yeah, they did that later on Fiji, but like now. Was it just a way to speed the show up? Like,
Um, One of the things that I tried to tell my tribe when I was there was that I'd figured out the math of the game, and that you could take the rate of elimination and the number of people that are in the game and sort of calculate what to expect. And so I knew that there was going to be more than just the final two at the end. I didn't know how many, but I knew it was going to be more than a final two. And then I also knew that there was going to have to be a double elimination, maybe more than one along the
oh,
way as
okay.
well. So even though that had never happened before, so I didn't know in what format that was going to happen. I didn't know about the message in the bottle. I didn't figure that. Uh,
Okay.
they to this day, I still maintain that they did Jenny dirty. They they did her dirty with that
Yes.
message in the bottle. Um, but
Yes.
but yeah, it's a rate of it's a rate of elimination. You either have to speed up the rate of elimination or you have to do these double eliminations to keep at the same rate. So to keep it the same episodes, number of episodes, and all that. So they went with the latter. They went with the double elimination. Not just once but twice with Cowboy and Christina, and then with Rebecca and Jenny. So yeah, I would
Ugh.
rather I would rather uh, we see a double episode instead of a double
Hmm.
elimination in a single episode. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see a double episode.
Okay. I know what they did on Island of the Idols, and I think they did it on a few different seasons, was at the merge, they would have, or before the merge, like they would like break everyone up into like the two tribes, and then they would have an immunity challenge for each like chunk of people, and then they would each have a vote out for that one section, and for the other section, they would have a vote out, but they had the opportunity to win immunity for both, but they would do two separate tribals.
Right, right. Yeah, that's another way to speed up or not speed up the game, but get more people out within the time frame that they have. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, and we're seeing the same kind of stuff with season 50 where they had 24 players, more players than they ever had. So they had to like get people out. Start getting this battle royal moving. Get eliminations happening. So yeah, I understand. I understand that for logistical reasons they have to do it, but uh, and it's not that I'm this hardcore traditionalist either. It's just I feel like we miss out on some story in favor of the shootout. The quick people dying in a bunch, just getting shot left and right. Like, you know, uh, if you do it one episode in a season, then maybe you might get a red wedding effect, referring to Game of Thrones. But
Yeah.
if you do it multiple episodes in a season, then it just feels like it feels like the red shirts in Star Trek. You just you're just killing people off by the bunches just to kill them off.
Yeah, I, I did not like that twist. I did not like the message. Like, they probably could have been a little bit more creative about it. I don't know.
Well, well, season 13, Cook Islands, was so early in the Survivor. They were still figuring stuff out. There was a lot that they were trying to sort of let's try this and see if that works. Let's try that, see if that works. And on our season, they tried it all. It was just twist after twist after twist after twist. There was the mutiny, and it was just so much. Um, but having said that, because our season was the first extremely twisty season, including the race twist that started the whole thing off, it's one of the most memorable seasons because it was the first one to just go completely ape shit and throwing everything at the wall and see what sticks. So, I got to be on a very remembered season.
Yeah, and they would like subdivide like tribes later by like usually three. Like before yours, it had only been subdivided into four tribes once, and that was on the Panama season right before, where they
Yeah,
did it through how old and gender. So they did it through those two components, and
yeah,
now,
yeah. That was that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They intended the season after us to also be race divided, but then Melissa McNulty had a panic attack and she quit the game before they actually started the game, and so they at the very last second came up with the haves and have nots. But if
Mm.
they'd have did three consecutive seasons of four tribes, I think they might have continued that idea. But Melissa McNulty upended all that with her quitting. But they circled back around to it. Now they're doing three tribes instead of four. Three tribes of six, where it's evenly divided, three men and three women on each tribe. And that's been the format nonstop since Winners at War, or since the season after Winners at War, 41. So yeah, I think that's gonna define this era of the three tribes. And then when they do something else, that'll be the end of this era that we're currently in, and the start of the next era, whatever that's gonna look like.
Yeah, I feel like two defining things of like the eras we're in now is like the three tribes, and also that all of the challenges have have a puzzle component at the end. You have to solve a puzzle.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know what? I just think that Survivor's puzzle maker might be better at social than maybe some of the players because he's basically taking over the challenges.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
uh, you know, I have nothing against puzzles and all that. I do love seeing the water challenges. I understand that people starve and so they can't. That affects their ability to swim. So to make it a little easier on the players, they put puzzles instead of these long swims and these long dives underwater, submerged, some long sections being submerged. I understand. I understand the logistics of it, and uh, I'll just say that the puzzle has become so much the great equalizer that it's starting to make the rest of the challenge very inconsequential, which I don't want to see.
Yeah, because originally a puzzle was either the whole challenge or like half of it. And now like some challenges have like a first like two-thirds, and then the third is the puzzle, and now you always get a puzzle. You had more endurance challenges before because they weren't restricted for how long they could film, so people would like stand on things or hold things for like a long period of time. But they've started to drift away from that a little bit more, even though, yeah, I used to think the endurance challenges were pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they still have a little bit of that where they just did one this last episode where they were on a platform in the middle of the ocean and did that one, a classic one, where they had to stand up there. But yeah, they do speed them along by saying, "Okay, now move forward to the thinner part of the platform, or move or step up to where you can only stand on one leg on the platform, which will speed it up and make people start falling." But yeah, I mean, the basketball endings to challenges ain't so bad either, where you either have to or throw a beanbag onto a platform. That's two. It's the ones where you had to throw like a spear and hit a bullseye, or run into the ocean underneath water, try some symbols, and then come running back and try to arrange the symbols. Those were kind of fun too. But uh, I understand that they figured out the schedule of Survivor. Like in those early days, it was kind of, let's see how we can work this out. Today they have it worked out and they understand the schedule of Survivor. So these challenges have to happen in a certain amount of time, and I understand that, and I just hope that they figure out a way to vary the challenges a little bit more while still staying on schedule. Uh, maybe bring back the old uh, pontoon, pull yourself down the rope of the pontoon, grab a key, swim your way back, unlock a bunch of other keys, and then
Okay.
one of those keys will open the flag, and then the flag will go up, and you won. Maybe something like that. Maybe they can bring back, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um, the ability to to starve and then still do physical activities is is probably what's also playing a big role in what elements to each challenge make it and what elements they have to leave off.
Mm, yeah. Like yeah, I was watching a video on YouTube that was about like the production manager for the challenges, and like he was like talking about the challenges where they took a risk or something like that, and like a lot of the ones involving like water or carrot holding a lot of weight, they
Mm.
didn't want to do those anymore because they were like too taxing on the survivors, especially in those conditions. So they used to like have like holding sandbags or holding buckets of water, and they used to have a pole, and they used to just like hold them, and they used to do that like for a few different seasons, but it was just like a little bit too like strenuous on the players.
Yeah, they also got rid of all the wrestling challenges.
Yeah,
All
they
the
got rid
not.
of those. There was
Yeah, yeah.
one in particular on your season, or that was pr pr
It
pretty intense. Yeah.
it it was intense. It was intense, but it was fun to see. I kind of
Yeah.
regret that I didn't make it long enough to be in that challenge. Um, But yeah, for those who don't remember, one of your tribe mates will hold the pole while two people from the other tribe will try to rip the person off the pole, drag him across this long straightaway, and then across the line, and then whichever tribe got the other wrestled the other tribe member pole person across that line would win the point, and then I think it was first tribe to five or something like that won the challenge. And one of the things I remember distinctively was Christina, who was holding a pole, and Flicka, who was one of the wrestlers who was to charge to rip off the pole. Grabbed a hold of Christina, and Christina was yelling, "No headlocks! No headlocks!" The whole way she was being dragged across the ground. And uh, last I spoke to Christina, I think she was still fuming over that. So that's saying something.
Yeah, yeah, like the challenges they used to be like pretty physical. They did like sumo wrestling and like stuff like that. So like they used to do really hardcore like physical challenges. And like some like hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. And I feel like it's ultimately good they don't really do that anymore because like yeah, it's just a game. So like and like uh I noticed on 50, Charlie, he wrestled Jonathan at their camp and I was like, yeah, that's not
Yeah.
cool.
Well, they were both having fun, but yeah, uh, I feel like the one on one aspect, the pugil sticks, the like you mentioned, the sumo wrestling where you knock someone off the platform into the water. I feel like okay, those are physical risks because you could break someone's nose with a pugil stick or someone's knee could, on a sumo wrestling match. So yeah, those are physical risks that maybe insurance policies have changed since those days, and maybe that's why they're not being used. Uh, enjoy. There was one in China that was kind of similar to the one that was on my season, where it was a wrestling match, and they did this great edit of like Chinese cinema, Hong Kong cinema, kung fu movie edit that they did to the challenge, which I thought was so damn clever that it's still one of my favorite edits to any challenge ever. Uh, and so I feel like we lost a little bit of that when we got away from those kinds of physical one-on-one combative challenges. And we need variety. Just like we were mentioning earlier about puzzles being such a massive part of challenges nowadays. Like I would rather I would rather race to the end, and instead of a puzzle, the person that makes it to the end, the tribe that makes it to the end, gets to pick their best person against the other tribe's least person to do a sumo match. Same genders though, and then it all comes down to that one sumo match. The winner of that sumo match wins the challenge. And so I would like to see stuff like that instead of a puzzle every single time. It's okay that there be puzzles sometimes, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'd rather see some physical combative challenges replace a few of those puzzles.
Yeah, I gotcha. Um, like I do definitely agree. I think the best way is like to do like the targets in the sandbags or yeah, to do the basketball challenges.
Yeah, yeah, or at least they bring back the spear challenge where you had to hit the bullseye and you had bullseyes at different uh
Oh,
uh
nice.
distances if you remember, and then if you you can hit the bullseye close up and make it perfectly centered, and then try to it was that many points, or you could try to go for the far away one to where even if you don't hit the dead center because it was so much further, it was worth more points. So I found that interesting because there was strategy to that. It wasn't just can you hit the bullseye. So I kind of missed that as well. But again, this all falls under even though it's not one on one, it's tribe against tribe. It still falls under the category of like combative because a spear is part of combat. So maybe there's some sort of gaming rules that change that disallows all combat elements. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, and so I wouldn't know. But
Okay.
yeah, I would love to see combative elements come back.
Okay. Um, yeah, like I agree. Like I feel like ending every challenge, you have to solve a puzzle. Over time, it just kind of gets redundant. Well, like, and you just like see the same thing over and over. Puzzle, puzzle, puzzle. Like maybe if they add like a combative element to the puzzle, I feel like that would be cool. Like another tribe like tries to knock over your puzzle.
Like dodgeball, have
Yeah,
them a little
yeah.
distance away. They have these little balls. They could you could have two people work on a puzzle or one person work on a puzzle and the other one block the balls. It's strategy. You pick which one of the two. If you think they suck at throwing, you have two people working on the puzzles. like,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, sure. I could see that. Um, yeah. But even then, I would say you could do the opposite of the puzzle. You could have the puzzle already made, and then your people throw the balls to knock down your puzzle until the last piece is knocked off. You're still trying to work that, trying to throw balls, and you have to have all your puzzle pieces off the platform for it to count as a victory. Like, so you could do the reverse of it. Instead of build a puzzle, destroy the puzzle. So so that's one element as well that would be fun to bring back or to do on Survivor.
Yeah. Um, that would be cool, and like it just adds a different element to it rather than just okay, they have to solve the puzzle, like either like they defend or they get an opportunity to knock something. Like I feel
Uh,
like it just kind of it changes it up a bit.
yeah, well, they're trying to reward brainy people. Like the bronze part they got figured out. So now they want to do something for the brains, and I think the puzzle is the one thing that's like the go to reward brains. But I feel like there's other ways to reward brains that just
Yeah.
kind of got left behind. But uh,
Yeah.
so they just have to dig to their own past to bring them forward again. But having so many players this season, 24, just makes for more challenges. So it makes it feel like there's that many more puzzles than in a normal season. So that's probably part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. And it does make it more likely for more people to be able to win immunities rather it just being the same like two or three people.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, I agree. But the later you go in the season, the more they pull out those stand on a platform or with a ping pong paddle, holding balls on there, trying to keep the balls on there. The more they do those kinds of challenges, because the stop the obstacle courses and start with the just stand there challenges, uh, which is later as you go along in the season. So yeah, I think they figured some of that out already, or enough of it out. But having said that, the game is outwit more than it is out. That's the first element. Outplay is great, and outlast is what you hope that all that equals to. But the outwit is the first thing on there. So I guess you know, running and swimming, you're not going to outwit anybody, but with a puzzle, you're going to outwit some people. So I guess.
Yeah, true. True. Um, so let's see. I think we're gonna wrap up.
All right.
I know that you're a heavy metal musician, Billy.
Yes.
What do you have? Do you have like a go-to song? Is there like a song that you just love, like absolutely love?
Well, there's several, so they kind of rotate as to which one is my number one. And so, since you're asking me today and not like a month ago, right now, my number one is Ozzy Osbourne's "Bark at the Moon." That's my go-to song right now. Jakey Lee, who's the guitar player on that album, is one of my favorite guitar players. Um, and of course Ozzy Osbourne. What can you say? He and the band Black Sabbath invented heavy metal. So uh, and we recently lost him, so maybe that's why he's
Ooh.
on my mind a little bit more. Ozzy Osbourne performed his last ever concert and he streamed it live, and it was this big showcase, a full stadium in Birmingham, England. Lots of great bands bands from Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and many more all showed up to pay tribute to him. And he closed out the show playing with Black Sabbath, the band that invented heavy metal, as I said. So, and then a couple of weeks later, he was gone. We lost
Cool.
him. So,
Hmm.
so yeah. So I guess that kind of keeps him on my mind right now, and that's why "Bark at the Moon," which is my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song, is like my number one right now. Uh, but Survivor related, Survivor related. There's a song called "Heaven and Hell" that pretty much sums up, or even better, Dio's "The Last in Line." Dio's "The Last in Line" sounds like it was written about Survivor, even though it was written back in the '80s before Survivor ever happened. So, so if anybody wants to hear a heavy metal song that sounds like it's about Survivor, Dio, "The Last in Line," that would be the song.
Nice. Okay, so all of you at home, check out Dio, the Last in Line.
Yeah, great song.
Nice. Awesome. Um, um, cool. Well, this has been the Survivor Files with Billy Garcia. And please like this video. Please comment below and subscribe. And where can we find you on social media, Billy?
Most of my social media is real Billy Garcia. Um, I just got on Chat BCC, so if you follow the Survivor thread, I'll be on there live. You can't say tweeting because it's not tweet. Live chatting on Chat BCC. That's my that's I guess that's my new hangout for when I'm watching Survivor. But otherwise, on all the others, it's real Billy Garcia, or follow my band at Forsaken, spelled with two K's.
Okay. All right. Follow Billy Garcia and Forsaken. All right. Yep. Check him out. And uh keep watching Survivor 50.
Great season.
Yup. This has been Survivor Files. So thank you guys for watching and listening. Have a great night.